What's up, guys? It's your girl, Matt Cox, and we are doing the Paducah Show recap live. I don't think I'm going to be on super long. I don't know. I don't know. I have not just come back, I've been back for a minute, and now I'm just like, oh, we've got to talk about all the things. So, if there are any questions that you guys have, let me know, because one of my issues with coming to this show was that I couldn't find any information about how to really come to the show. I needed somebody to tell me what their experiences were, what was happening, and I couldn't find it anywhere, which, totally stuck. So, I'm like, well, let me tell you guys just a quick recap. If you have any questions, throw them up and I will try to answer them. I am in Paducah, Kentucky, and I got here by flying into, wait for it, Nashville. I did not understand that it's very difficult to fly into Paducah, Kentucky. The prices will be astronomical and the flights get canceled constantly. You don't want to try to fly into Paducah, it's going to be a mess for you. A lot of people flew into Nashville and just drove up. I even know some people who flew in to Nashville and took an Uber from the airport in, and the Uber only cost $150. So it's about 120 miles or something like that. It took me a couple of hours to drive. I couldn't find this information anywhere. Anywhere. What's up, Jerry? Um, and that's a big one. That's how you get here. This is a huge show to me. I was told that this is the third largest. I think that it's the second largest, but I was told that Road is probably bigger than this one, but I don't know that I believe it because this is a big show. I think it's the second largest next to Houston, personally. Um, Trying to get someplace to stay is going to be difficult. Even if you were to try to get someplace to stay right now for next year, the prices are astronomical. So just be ready. Just know that everybody is taxing so hard because of the quilt show. So hard. A place that I'm staying in now should be like $100 a night. And I think I paid upwards of like $350 a night. Hey, Becky. So just know that, and the closer, and I waited till the last minute to get this room. I wasn't sure that I was going to go. What's up, Jazzy? I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to make it. So it was a little bit on the late boat when I got my tickets, but it's still, you're looking at around $350 a night while the quilt week is going on. Now, if you stay a little later, then is Dollywood in Kentucky? Don't say that because I will not go to the show tomorrow and go to Dollywood. What else? Where to stay? So there is this area of inns, guys. Comfort Suites, Hampton Inn, every place that's right off of, what is this called? Something Center Circle. I think it is. I'm going to tell you, if you can stay in these, or I mean, of course, you can stay right next to the convention at that Holiday Inn if you can book it. But there are shuttles that come right here, Coleman Crossing Circle. If you can get any of these, what's up, Lois? If you can get any of the inns at Coleman Crossing Circle, you are within like a good distance. You're about 6-7 miles from where you want to be, which is, it's excellent. I love where I'm staying. I did rent a car. Again, I drove up, but I'm just a hop, skip, and a jump away from everything. And honestly, there are shuttles that pick up in this area and they run until the end of the show. So really, you don't have to have a car to come. You don't have to. I like to do a lot of running around and going other places and stuff like that. So, again, I should have a car, but it's not necessary to have a car to be able to move around and move around reasonably. They have all kinds of amenities for people who are staying here in regards to getting around. There's a call ahead service, the Dream Cab Company. Of course, you can do Lyft. or like I guess an Uber, but they have attraction shuttles that are literally shuttling people around all day until the end of the show. So that works out really well. From where I am, I'm about like I said, about 5 miles away. It does not feel far. Now, the cool thing about this show is that it's not just happening at the convention center. There are other little like break off things that are happening. Cherrywood has their like pop up shop at an actual shop. I haven't been there. I'm going to do that tomorrow. There is this really cool place that I got a chance to go. They call it the Carson Park. It's in, I think, what they call the Floral Hall, which feels kind of like a barn. You guys, I wanted to just stay in there all day. Everything in there just gave you that real country feel, like that real country quilt feel. The kind of shows that they probably were having back in the day, it was that kind of feeling in there. And I got there, I think at 10:30. I stayed in there for hours. I just didn't want to leave. And there were only like 15 vendors, but there was just so much stuff to look at and touch and comb through. It was amazing. It was just, it gave me the warm and fuzzies. If you get a chance to do that, don't skip out on that. Oh, good. I'm glad that, Michelle, I'm so glad that you got a chance to see the museum. So is that next up? The barn. Then there's the bubble. So you might hear this thing referred to as the bubble. And tomorrow I'm going to take you guys in the bubble. It looks like a marshmallow. I heard it called a marshmallow, a bubble, but I think the official name for it is, what's the official name for the bubble? The pavilion, the dome pavilion. And it is a dome, but it's a bubble. What it is like, it looks like a bouncy house. You guys familiar with bouncy houses? It looks like a bouncy house from the outside, but it's huge. And it really is kind of like a bubble because the type of doors that they have, it doesn't let the air out, because if they were let the air out, the tent would just fall. It's really, really random. Funny, random. So inside there, I'd say there's like tiers to what's going on. The big vendors, the big ones, I guess, are kind of in the expo center. And then like the ones under that, like a lot of the super cool vendors that we always see, a lot of the quilt stores and all that are in the bubble. And then some like, not I shouldn't say, like most of the online vendors that are smaller would be at that like barn location. But all of them are absolutely worth seeing. If you can only go to one, you should go to the expo center. But I just loved every second of it. Just, oh, the barn. That was my jam. I had the most magical quilty day today. Everything about today was just absolutely lovely. So then they have the quilt stores here. There are at least two. Yes, Becky. We'll get to that. We'll get to that section. Let's see. The quilt stores. Hancock's of Paducah. It's what I want to say is a no frill fabric store. If you were looking for a fabric, and I'm not talking about an old fabric, I'm talking about current fabrics that are happening right now, lines that are happening right now, lines that have been released right now, they have it. Hancock's has the most fabric that I think I've ever seen, especially current fabrics. Am I going to sneeze? Nope. Not sneezing. Oh, nope, not sneezing. They have current fabrics. The Tula, the brand new Tula, they have like 6 bolts of every single one. They have so much fabric in there. But during Quilt Week, it's chaos. I bet you it's not chaotic like that. And they said it does move like a machine. Like these people know what they're doing. This is not a game, but it's a no frills kind of quilt store. Your fabric is in there. If you need batting, it's in there. If you need pre-cuts, they're in there. But it's not like, the down home kind of quilty store, quilty feeling store. It's a no frills fabric store. I wouldn't say that the prices are super inexpensive or anything. It's you're paying what you would pay at any other quilt store. I'm not saying that it's a discount store by any means. It looked like every other store that I'm in. It's just that they had it. You name it, they have it. And that's a big deal because you guys can get what you need. Then there was the Calico County, which was just quaint and it made me feel good. It still had a modern vibe to it. It was excellent. I had a great time in that store. And it also sells sewing machines. Hancock's didn't have any sewing machines for sale. They had fabric, all the fabric. But Calico is right there. And when I say they're right there, they are within walking distance of one another. You could just walk straight up the street and be at Calico. It's all right there. And in proximity to the inns, all the inns that are in this area, I could probably I could walk to Hancock's. I wouldn't suggest you do it, but you could. It's really close. The Quilt Museum. Oh, I could stay in there all day too. It's a really well curated kind of show. It's got some amazing exhibits in there right now, and I had the time of my life in there. I went in 2 times. I got lucky on both on both times. So make sure that you call and make sure that there are special hours for quilters, but there are also special events that are happening during Quilt Week. And make sure you're supposed to be there because tonight's event, they didn't kick me out, but I was not dressed for the occasion. I had this on. Oh my goodness, you guys have been so kind about this t shirt. Everybody has just been going crazy for this t shirt, which will be available for sale soon. You guys have been really good about this shirt. Let's see. But I wasn't dressed for the occasion. The Quilt Museum, you've got to go. If you can't go, I suggest you watch my video because it's just special. It's a really special place. It made me want to go back twice. I went back again tonight. And it's not big. You can get through it in, well, it depends. If you are somebody who likes to spend time with your art like me, well, you can be in there for a couple hours. But if you're somebody who just wants to roll through, you can be in and out in 30 minutes, easy. I got a chance to go to the auction. So in my mind, my girlfriend was like, "Are you serious?" I was very serious. I thought they were going to be auctioning off some of the quilts made by people who are shown in the museum, and that's not what happened. I was looking for people to be bidding on very, very, very experienced quilters' quilts, and that's not what was happening. I wanted to bid on some of the art that was in the museum, and of course, right, like I really thought that was what the auction was going to be. But they had some donated quilt tops and some baskets that were put together that were nice. Don't get me wrong. Like they had some cave baskets and they had this really cool basket that was bourbon and cherry wood colors it was a really nice basket. They had a couple of nice, super nice things. It's just not what I was expecting. I wanted to see, and I wanted to play with the big kids because the quilts in the museum are just stellar, just amazing, amazing. Classes and lectures. I haven't attended any classes, any lectures, but they are happening. I might try to see if there's a lecture or something that I can catch tomorrow, but I probably won't. I didn't even really look to see who was doing what, but there are quite a few classes and lectures to choose from. And because it's such a big show, you're getting some of the big wig people to come and teach you the best of the best. The rooms sell out very, very quickly. Things will sell out, and you can be as far as like 100 miles away, and you still are paying a pretty penny for your room because they know that you're here for Quilt Week. So I know that sounds crazy, but trying to get a room was insane. They were just all sold out. Like all of the rooms were gone. So be careful about that. If there is an event, like tonight, there was a Ricky Timms event, and I think it was called a color concert. I wanted to go to that. I could not get tickets. They had sold out the very first day. I should have brought my tickets before when I knew that I was coming in. So they were still available, but that first day they were gone. Um, the vendor halls, the vendors were good. I I like the vendors. I had a good time looking at the vendors, and it's kind of there's so many that you get some diversity in the vendors. Um, is this a place that you can come by yourself? Yes, you can come by yourself. I'm by myself. I go everywhere by myself. And I realize that every place is not necessarily conducive to doing that, but this is one of those. You will absolutely make friends if you want to. You will be able to probably have lunch and dinner with people quilters around. Do not be scared to come to this show by yourself. There are wonderful places to have dinner. I walked in the dark downtown LA by myself to my car, which was like 2 blocks away, and I felt 100% safe. I wasn't even thinking, I mean, it's just lovely out here. It rained yesterday, and today it was like a warm night. It was just a lovely walk by myself at night, pitch black, and no issues. So you can come by yourself. I don't suggest you do that. I mean, I'm not familiar with this area, but I felt safe enough to do so. And yes, this is some place that you can come by yourself, especially if you stay within the confines of the show's times. There are shuttles and everything and people around everywhere, and they're all here for the same thing. The last day is tomorrow, so I don't know if you want to be by yourself tomorrow when the demographic is going to change back to whatever it usually is. But if you're coming in before that and you're by yourself, I think you'll be fine. Um, I am going to be here for, let's see, I got here yesterday. I did a full day today. I can do a full day tomorrow. This is a show that I would say you need, if you can, if it's possible, to do at least 2 full days here. 2 full days, that's assuming you're not taking any classes, just to kind of have a pleasant experience. I could have stayed in just actually, I did. I did the museum, the quilt stores, all in one day and like a half a day. So I drove down. I got here probably about, I flew in, I landed at 11. By 12 o'clock, I had my car. I was in town by about 2, and then I just kind of chilled out and went to the stores and moseyed around. I did not go to anything having to do with the convention or anything like that. So 2 full days at the convention, you will see probably what you want to see. Um, Also know that it's not just the convention center. I didn't understand that. It's kind of like Comic Con. If you've ever done Comic Con, there are a ton of little things happening. Make sure that you look at the events pages on the website, on the books that they give you. Look at what's going on, because it's not just at the convention center. I'm telling you guys, people have pop up shops here. The quilt stores, they really tell you who's doing lectures, who's doing concerts, who's doing extra stuff. So just know that it is not just the convention. In the convention, there are 2 buildings that are connected to each other. So it's the convention and the expo hall. Those two are right there together, and they're connected, and you definitely want to see everything there. It's a first level and a second level, and that's just in the convention. And then the bubble is walking distance, but they do have a shuttle for people that need to get on a shuttle and be brought right to the door. It'll pick you up from the door of the bubble and drop you off at the door of the convention center, and you can walk right in. And those shuttles run, one shuttle was leaving, another shuttle was popping up. One shuttle was leaving, another one was popping up. They were going like that. That's for the shuttles that are actually at the convention center, because it's really close to go from the bubble to the convention center. The bubble is also known as the pavilion. It's the white tent. It's super close. Now, I don't know how fast the shuttles are running from the hotels there. I can't speak to that, but I know that they do offer them. And they start as early as 7:30 so that you can be there for rope drop. Rope drop. You can be there for when the doors open. Um, the only thing that I didn't care for, I love this show. This actually might be my favorite show because of how many vendors are here, the energy here, uh, the types of quilts that are here. I really am enjoying this show, guys. And I know that I just love quilts. You could give me a log cabin, a churn dash, or you can give me a big old red circle on a black background. I know. I like modern quilts. I just like quilts. I know. But this might actually be my favorite show. I am having a ball. Everything is just kind of working so smoothly, and it's just a good show, good vendors, good vibes. But the one thing that I don't care for is the way that they have the quilts roped off. So I can't seem to get a show that gets all 3 right. I just can't. So here they actually have the The name of the quilter right next to the quilt, which just makes sense to me. If you're taking a picture of it, you can get everything in one fail picture. This is not difficult or rocket science. But on the description, there's really not much said, and it doesn't tell you what category it's competing in, which kind of irks me. And they have it roped off. They have three quilts in like a in a cove, and then it's roped off. So you can't get close enough to the one directly ahead of you. I can't even get close enough to read the name good. But you can't get a good picture of the quilts on these sides. So you have the one that's back here, and then you have two quilts right here, and you just can't get a really good picture or a good understanding of what's going on these quilts, kind of. You can see them, you can get closest to the corner of that quilt, but it's just let us in the little coves. We know better. We have home training. We know not to touch the quilts, because the quilts that you can get really close to, where they have the chains like this so that you can walk up, um, the, the quilt police, that's funny. The quilts that you can walk up to are the quilts that actually won. They are actually the quilts that won for the ribbons. And so I was like, well, what are we even doing here? Like, what are we even doing? So the ones that have like a rope that goes this way and this way, you can walk all the way up to those quilts. It's weird. I don't know. I just can't get all three right. And that's the only thing that I don't like about this show. That's it. It's the only thing. Everything else is cool. It's a little there is no diversity here. There's no sense in me even telling that story. There's just not. It's not diverse in age, and it's not diverse. There's no black people here. It's pretty much just me. It's all right though. We're that's okay. It's okay. We'll just let the people know that we're out here. It's just a yeah, you get what you get. When people think of quilting, this show is probably what they think of, because it's definitely more on the traditional side. All right, I am going to slide this up and look to see if you guys have any questions. Any other questions, drop them in, because I'm totally going to answer them right now. Let's see. Was I the youngest? First question I see, was I the youngest person around? Uh-huh. Yep. There was like one or two people who brought their children, like little children there. But for the most part, you can see that in the video. Matter of fact, you can see a lot of what I'm talking about in the video. Yes, Becky. Paducah, the Hancocks of Paducah is an absolute warehouse. That's what it is. It's a warehouse of fabric that you get to go in and shop, and whatever fabric you're looking for. And they have an online presence too. I actually ordered, I've ordered, I wouldn't say I ordered a ton of fabric, but I've definitely ordered fabrics from Hancock's, because they always have what I need. And if they don't have it in stock, it always says, this is coming. Oh, it's like Kentucky's Dollywood. I get it. Any other questions? Oh, Michelle, I'm glad that you like that I filmed it for you. So this quilt show, there are some quilt shows that will allow you to sell. There's a price on there, and then you can go up to, there's a counter where you can go up and say that you want to purchase a quilt, and then they'll go and they'll put the sold sticker. I did not see that as even a possibility at this particular quilt show. Shows like QuiltCon have it. There's some other shows that I've been to also that actually have the price listed if people want to sell their quilts. It would have to be entered in the show though to sell the quilt. Yeah. Don't touch the quilt to the quilt, please. Yes, the quilt, please will get you. Lisette, the clapper man was here. I thought about you. I was like, ooh, she wanted a clapper. Where did I park? So I paid for parking. I parked in a grass lot. I'm glad that you asked me that, because it was a very random place to park. I would have preferred a parking lot. Also know that the places that I've been are gravel. They're not like paved. There's some places that are paved, like right here. This is a well, but Paducah, it was at Hancock's. It was raining. You're on gravel. I tracked in so much mud and dirt into my car. It's so Have on your tennis shoes. Don't have on your Crocs like me, especially if it's raining. It is kind of muddy. I find myself walking through a lot of grass and a lot of like mud and dirt and paved areas here. So definitely you want your tennies on, because yeah. But I paid $10 to park at the bubble, and then I took the tram, the little tram, the trolley that pops up at the bubble, over to the Quilt expo. It was all of a 2 minute ride, maybe. And I missed the shuttle, the last shuttle going back because I was too busy hanging out with you guys. So I had to hoof it. So I walked from the expo to the bubble, and it took me maybe 5 minutes to get across. I just cut through the parking lot. You can see it. And then I walked behind the bubble. I parked behind the bubble in the grassy lot area that charged me $10. And I was on the grass. So beware of that. And the grass was muddy and wet. So, um, Santa, you never know. Santa might do it before COVID. There were a ton of Japanese quilters there, a ton of them. Um, a ton of Japanese quilts that were actually in the show. And some of the quilters were actually here, but they went back home. Let's see. Oh, nice. What is Muppet Sewing Emporium? Is that here? Is there a sewing emporium here? Yeah, parking in the grass. Not cool. It wasn't. My whole $10. I would have loved to have had my wheels on the pavement, but I guess. Yeah, the Japanese quilts. There's definitely like a style. You can kind of tell a Japanese style quilt from from seeing them. I'm starting to see enough that I can kind of pick them out and say, oh, it's a quilt shop in Paducah. I'm gonna have to look for it. There probably are a lot of quilt stores in this area. I actually didn't look because if I looked, then I'm gonna have to try to visit them, and you guys already know how that goes. So the only ones that are like officially on the special sheet here, it was just Calico, no, Hancock's and Calico. Those are the only ones that were like really mentioned, and it's probably because they're all on this one street here. There is something called the Geyser Art Center that I might go check out, and the Kentucky Oats Mall. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. I'm doing a special touring of a museum that's opening for me tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. I'm not sure if I'll be going live or if I'm going to do a video on it. I don't know. And I kind of just wanted to recreate my day, but the museum that I'm going to open, it's going to open tomorrow at 12. So we shall see what my day looks like tomorrow. But I'm definitely going back to the bubble. So there's that. And I want to film the bubble for you guys. So I probably should get to the bubble early, but yeah, there's a woman who is going to put something together for me in that bubble. So let me show you guys what I bought, and then I am going to call it a night. You guys want me to do a haul now, or you guys want to wait until after? There's not much else that I'm planning on buying. There is a bracelet that I want that's amazing. Where's the card? Oh, I don't have her card right here. Her name is Chantel, and she makes sterling silver bracelets. And every year she's at the show. And the reason why I found her is because there was a woman who was chiming as she was walking, and she just sounded like somebody I wanted to follow. And she had all of these bells on her wrist, and she says that she purchases them um, every year. She's like, every year I buy another one, and it's kind of like a Pandora thing. But the thing about Pandora is that they really don't have like quilting charms, which makes me sad because I definitely have Pandora bracelets. So I love the beads, but I use Pandora mostly for Disney, not for anything else. But this can represent my quilt world, whatever. But there's this woman with amazing, the most amazing. Somebody knocking on my door. It's your neighbor. It's my neighbor. Yeah, sorry. Uh-huh. Okay, guys, I am going to be a good neighbor and I am going to call this live. Apparently, they can hear me through the walls. And so I am going to let them go to sleep because it is about 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And yeah, we've all got to be here. Everybody's got to do their thing. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. Okay. And I'll show you guys what I buy during the day. Okay. All right. Bye bye.